Hello, and welcome to episode 26 of the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. I'm Christine.
And I'm Sam.
And this week, we have a lot to talk about. Hopefully, we won't go too long. But this week, we will start off with our 2022 Vegan Cookbook Challenge recipe.
That we will.
Which was another recipe from the Everyday Eats from Eamon Beck and Fraser Fitzgerald. And that recipe was a lentil walnut taco meat.
Yes. What are you looking at me for?
I thought you were going to add something there.
No, you said it all. It was a lentil walnut taco meat. That is correct.
It was. And, as much as I didn't want to, do another recipe from a cookbook we've already talked about, we were away this weekend for a family thing, and I didn't get a chance. This was something that we had already tried, actually a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and this is a really great, quick taco meat recipe using lentils and walnuts, thus the name lentil walnut taco meat.
Yes, and this was really beautiful. I personally have never met a lentil that I didn't like, so whenever lentils come up, I'm always happy. Walnuts are also a favorite of mine, so this was bound to be a hit with me.
Yeah.
It was kind of a foregone conclusion, but it was very well seasoned. The texture was beautiful. It made for some awesome tacos on a Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah.
And what I really like about it is lentils and walnuts are something that I always keep on hand.
Yeah.
And the spices that are required in the recipe are things that we always have on hand. So this recipe is this is a go-to thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This is what are we making for dinner? Oh, hey, we could do...
Want to do tacos?
We do tacos.
Tacos. And as long as you have some sort of veg or something to put on them.
That's right.
Yeah, you're all set.
You're all set.
Bob's your uncle.
Oh, here we go again. Bob's your uncle. Merlin's pants.
That's my catchphrase. Yeah, so I really enjoyed this recipe, and I really am enjoying this cookbook. It's an e-cookbook. I highly recommend it. Beautiful photos, very concise recipes, all of them simple in theory, but not in flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's called Everyday Eats, and you can get it at either eamonandbeck.com or at frasercooks.org.
There you go.
So reach out for that, and let me know if you get it and what recipes you're trying out of it, because I'm sure this isn't the last recipe we're going to be trying out of this cookbook.
Certainly not, because, of course, with the 2022 Cookbook Challenge, we do not own every vegan cookbook that is out there.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination.
No, we are going to eventually run out of cookbooks. So there's going to be redos. I didn't think we'd have a redo quite so quick into the cycle, but...
Well, no, I think it's just because you didn't have a plan for this past week.
It's bad planning. Yeah. It's bad planning on my part.
You didn't have a plan. It's okay. Sometimes we don't have plans.
Yeah, sometimes we don't.
That's right.
All right. Well, so yeah, that was our recipe of the week. And
yes, highly recommended.
Yeah, totally recommend. And moving on, we were, like I said, away this weekend for a family thing. We were doing it was a planning roundtable meeting for a little trip that we're taking in June. I wanted to talk a little bit about what we made for our non-vegan family members.
Yes. So it's become pretty much standard practice for us to cook for the family when we get together. Just because, I actually think it's really wonderful of them to ask us to cook, because then everybody knows that we're eating the way that we need to eat, and
they're willing to eat whatever we cook.
And we of course keep it to flavor profiles that we are sure that our family will enjoy. So for example, you can't go wrong with Italian.
Right.
And so this past Friday night, Christine did a beautiful rigatoni bake.
Yeah, I did 2 things of rigatoni bake. One was had a little less stuff in it because our niece Lucy doesn't like it when you put tons of things into a recipe. Right. She has simple taste.
She does. She has very simple food taste.
Yeah, so I made one with the little Gardein. I don't know if you tried these. They're like little coins of Italian sausage.
So good.
You can get in the frozen section, and they are really good.
They are really good.
So I did one with the Gardein sausage, Kalamata olives, roasted red peppers, and of course rigatoni and a red sauce.
And Violife mozzarella.
Oh yeah, Violife mozzarella cheese and a little bit of Follow Your Heart Parmesan,
Yes.
the dry Parmesan.
Yes. Yeah.
And then the other one I did with just sausage and actually left a little section where there was nothing but
noodles and sauce.
Noodles, sauce, and cheese.
And and actually had Lucy's name literally written on it. It was very cute.
Yeah. So, yeah, and everybody seemed to enjoy that. And
absolutely. Oh, my mom was all over it.
Yeah.
She was just nuts about it. And my dad was very complimentary of the Kalamata olive addition.
I am of a mind that Kalamata olives make everything better.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in that Mediterranean flavor profile.
Yes, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
Kalamata olives are up there with avocado and Nutella.
Right.
Things that make everything taste better.
Because I don't think Nutella is
Nutella
vegan.
is not vegan.
No, but Nutiva is.
Yes, there is Nutiva, and there is also, I don't have the brand name off the top of my head, but we bought this wonderful kind of artisan chocolate hazelnut spread
at the vegan
grocery store right before the holidays.
Yeah.
And it is spectacular.
Yeah, so there's a couple of brands of
It even
Nutella.
kicks Nutiva's butt.
Not to get too off
Yeah,
topic,
not to get
but-
too off topic, but you know, I agree. Kalamata olives are up there with avocado and Nutella.
Yeah. And I think I already talked about this when we were talking about pastas in a previous episode, but I think rigatoni is the perfect pasta for a baked pasta like this. I mean, you can do penne, but I think the biggest rigatoni noodle you can find
Is the way to go.
is the way to go.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about you, but I like mine. I pre-cook them, in boiling water. I like mine really soft, so that when you bake them,
for a bake, yes.
Yeah.
For a bake, yes. If we're just having, regular old pasta, just spaghetti on a plate, I'm happy for it to be a little bit al dente. But I do in a bake like that.
Yeah.
I agree. I do like the pasta to be soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that went over really well.
It did.
Yeah, and then the next day, Sam made...
We did some tacos,
Yeah.
oddly enough. But these were not the lentil walnut tacos of Eamon Beck and Fraser fame.
No.
These were done very simply. We relied on our friends at Gardein once again for their ground beef crumbles. I seasoned those with some taco seasoning. We did mild taco seasoning because, again, there are a number of people in my family who are not big fans of lots and lots of spice and lots of heat.
Right.
My dad likes spice and heat, as do I. My mom and my brother, not so much. Lucy, not so much. Christine, it depends on the day. And so we did a mild taco seasoning, and then had a choice of soft shell or hard shell tortillas. So either a hard corn tortilla or a soft flour tortilla. And to top the tacos, we had Violife cheddar shreds. We had a wonderful kind of avocado verde. It was almost like an avocado salsa.
Yeah.
Which was really quite lovely. We had some pico de gallo. We had some broccoli slaw to put on there, some black olives, and am I missing anything?
Shredded iceberg.
Oh, shredded iceberg, of course, for that so necessary
Oh, and
crunch.
we brought black beans to make, but then we didn't make them.
We didn't end up making the black beans. Yeah,
But that's okay.
Yeah.
And I did, I did one soft taco. Then I did one soft taco wrapped around a hard taco, kind of like
a
gordita.
chalupa.
I thought it was
that a
gordita. Is that a chalupa?
Oh, I have no idea.
I don't know. In the Taco Bell world,
I have no idea.
One of the things I used to like was their cheesy gordita crunch, which they don't have vegan cheese, I don't think. So I don't think you can get that anymore. I suppose you could put beans between the two sections to keep them stuck together.
Interesting thought.
But yeah, so I did one with a hard shell wrapped around, or no, the other way. A soft shell wrapped around
the
a
hard
hard
shell.
shell and then filled. It was good.
Good. I actually did not taste the tacos myself. I made them, but I did not eat any of them. I wasn't feeling real well that evening, so I forewent the tacos.
Yeah. So she made tacos and then went and lay back down.
Yeah, it happens.
thing.
Yeah, it was fine.
Well, I can tell you they were good.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Yes, my dad also poked his head in to tell me he enjoyed the tacos.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think everybody enjoyed that.
Awesomeness.
Yeah. So, yeah, when we cook for the family, we do try to keep it a flavor profile. and foods that they're used to eating.
Right.
So, pastas, tacos, pizzas, also things that are kind of simple. We try not to spend too much time cooking so we can spend more time with our family.
I mean, but we've also done things like soba noodle bowls went over really well.
Yeah.
Everybody was a fan of those. I think Owen even ate the tofu.
He did reluctantly.
Yeah, but he actually ate the tofu. So,
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive given that the, tofu was an optional add-on.
Yeah.
Everybody got their own bowl of soba noodles and then added whatever they wanted on top of them.
It's good to make like buildable things like that so that people can pick and choose what they want.
With the buildable food, can we reiterate my love for buildable food?
I know. If we ever write our own ebook or cookbook,
it's going to be a build your own adventure.
Think buildable food would be a good way to go.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because buildable food, it's just the best.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first.
Soba bowls.
Our first cookbook will be called The Buildable Vegan.
Hey, I like that.
Right?
The Buildable Vegan by Compassion and Cucumbers.
There you heard it here first, people. Write it down. And don't steal our idea. If I catch any of you stealing our idea, I will, I don't know, hunt you down and make me tacos or something.
That's awful.
Yeah, so that's what we did over the weekend with the fam. And I wanted to talk about a couple of things that were in the news.
Yes.
One exciting thing that's in the news right now, something new coming out from Miyoko's Creamery.
Well, an announcement of a new product from Miyoko's is always exciting.
It is always exciting.
So what do we got?
Vegan cottage cheese. I'm just pausing there so everybody out in the audience can scream to themselves. What? That's awesome. Now, Sam's not
they
a
can sit,
fan.
Or they can, like me, sit here rather nonplussed and somewhat disappointed that that's the new announcement from Miyoko's. This is only because I have never been a fan of cottage cheese in any form. I've never liked it. I don't eat it. So while I am definitely happy for all of those vegans out there who have been jonesing for cottage cheese, it's not particularly exciting to me.
To me, it's exciting and I'm a little scared.
Scared?
I don't know. I just don't know what it's going to taste like. I mean, I'm excited to try it, but I'm a little trepidatious, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Are we back to Blue Oyster Cult? Don't fear Miyoko's?
Don't fear Miyoko's? No, I would never fear Miyoko's. Interesting thing about this new product, which should be available on their website for online sales later this year and will be in stores, they're saying early 2023.
Okay.
It comes in like a 12-ounce tub. Mm-hmm. It's I think it's 10 grams of protein per serving.
Nice.
And it's made from, get this, watermelon seeds and sunflower seeds. Cultured.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's
very cool.
Basically making milk out of watermelon and sunflower seeds and then culturing it.
Okay, that's super cool.
Yeah.
So even though I am not personally excited about the cottage cheese, I will say that is super cool, and I'm really intrigued by what that process must be.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever heard anybody using watermelon seed.
Yeah, that's completely new.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
So I'll be very interested to see what it is when you get your hands on some of it.
Yeah, I'm excited to try it. I haven't seen anything that posts like a complete ingredients list. So I can't give you every ingredient, but those were the two that interested me the most: the watermelon seeds and the sunflower seeds.
Yeah. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, I'm curious. I have high hopes for it. I hope it's good.
I hope so too.
Because I was a huge fan of cottage cheese before we went vegan.
Yeah, it was kind of a staple for you.
Yeah, loved it.
Yeah,
loved it. I could eat it all day.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand that, but that's okay.
When we were kids, my sister used to put ketchup in her cottage cheese.
Oh.
Some people put tomato sauce in their cottage cheese. Some people put fruit in their cottage cheese.
Fruit I understand a little bit more. I do seem to remember my mother having cottage cheese with some kind of fruit in it.
Pineapple is a popular one.
That's the one. That's it right there. Cottage cheese and pineapple.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but I don't get it. I don't get it.
You don't get it.
No.
I myself just like a little salt and pepper.
Okay.
Yeah. But your mom, probably like my mom, probably started bringing cottage cheese into the house when Weight Watchers was a thing.
Yes.
Cottage cheese was a huge thing for the Weight Watchers.
For Weight Watchers, yes, it was. Yeah.
And my mom would always have a big tub of cottage cheese, and she'd be like, "Don't eat all my cottage cheese." I didn't always listen.
That is correct.
Her cottage cheese. Oh, and her Melba toast. That was another thing.
Oh, see, now I love Melba toast.
Yeah, but that was also because of Weight Watchers, we would have Melba toast in the house. Melba toast with cottage cheese was a good combination.
I'll stick to just the Melba toast.
So I could get, she could punish me for eating 2 things that I wasn't supposed to eat. All in one fell swoop.
Well,
Who's eating my Melba toast and my cottage cheese?
That would be you.
Me. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And it sounds like a lot of other people are. I'm seeing a lot of people posting on social media about being excited and that how cottage cheese was something that they miss being vegan. So, yeah, cool.
Very cool.
Miyoko's always coming up with something.
Go Miyoko's.
Really, what's the word I'm looking for?
Innovative?
Innovative, yeah. Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Okay.
All hail the queen of plant-based dairy.
For sure. She really is. She's a hero. She's a vegan hero.
Totally.
Okay, moving on to some not as exciting news. Vegan ice cream brand. Vegan ice cream brand Coconut Bliss, now being rebranded as Cosmic Bliss, is now offering dairy ice creams in their ice cream line.
This hit hard, let me tell you. I love ice cream in general. And Coconut Bliss, which I originally knew as Luna and Larry's.
Right, I think.
Coconut Bliss.
Yeah.
Several years ago.
Right.
Which then rebranded as Coconut Bliss.
Okay.
They, according to me, and this is just my humble opinion, of course, but they're really the best vegan ice cream out there. Like, honestly. They do, obviously from the name, a coconut milk base, and they've got a pretty wide range of flavors. The chocolate peanut butter and the chocolate hazelnut are both insanely good.
Yeah.
I think those are the only 2 flavors that I've tried because it's not a brand that's readily available in our immediate area.
Right.
So we only have had the chance to try it when we go a little further afield for our groceries. And also, vegan ice cream by the pint is expensive. So we don't tend to stock up on it. It's just something that we get as a little treat.
As a treat.
Yeah. But it is absolutely fabulous. And so when Christine shared this article with me earlier today, I was just so disappointed. And it started as a disappointed thing, like a really good ethical company, serving the needs of, sweet tooth vegans everywhere.
Right.
Kind of taking a step backwards.
Totally backwards.
Into the realm of dairy production. But I was disappointed until we started seeing some of their almost promotional materials or responses to the outrage of their vegan customers. Because it seems to, I believe both of us, that they're making a vested attempt to really greenwash what they're doing by saying, it's environmentally sustainable, it's grass-fed, it's milk from grass-fed cows, which, first of all, grass-feeding beef is less sustainable than conventional farming, than grain-fed beef, simply because not only are we talking about taking up land to grow crops, we're also taking up land specifically for the cows themselves. And so this is a phrase, the whole grass-fed thing is a phrase that is frequently used to make things sound like they are more environmentally friendly than they actually are. I mean, I know before our vegan days, we were very conscious of the meat that we bought, and we always bought organic, grass-fed,
right.
free range.
And thought we were doing a good thing.
Thought
but
we were doing a good thing.
Guess what? There you go. The industry once again duped us into believing we were doing a good thing when in actuality we were not at all.
We were not at all.
Yeah.
And so when I saw them saying that, this addition, that essentially they're fulfilling a need for ethical, sustainable dairy.
It's
that's when I started to go from being disappointed to being a little bit
angry. Yeah, well, I was reading this. I read one article. I was reading articles out loud to Sam, and I read one article, and that's where she's like, she was disappointed, as was I disappointed. And then I picked up on another article by Veg News, and the title of their article is "Once a Beloved Vegan Ice Cream Brand, Coconut Bliss. Coconut Bliss's new dairy line outrages customers." And Sam said before I read this article, I don't know if I'd go so far as to say outraged. By the end of this article, we were outraged. In the first paragraph, it says that Cosmic Bliss is claiming that the new dairy line is quote unquote humane, quote unquote grass fed, and quote unquote the most sustainably made and clean label brand on the market.
Okay, so grass-fed may be true enough, although we all know that grass-fed cattle are not solely grass-fed. They still eat grain.
Generally speaking, they're not.
Yes. But
also grass-fed is a greenwashing.
Yes.
It's
term.
a greenwashing
yes,
term.
Absolutely.
Yeah. To make you think that it's better when it's actually not.
Right. But to call a traditional dairy product humane or sustainable,
it's a flat out lie.
Exactly. It's not even greenwashing. It's just a flat out lie. Yeah. You are correct.
Yeah. So when Cosmic Bliss released this information, social media kind of went crazy, of course.
Oh, as it does.
And let's see, they made a post about it. And of course, everybody's saying that the dairy line is now, this dairy line that they're saying is sustainable is complete greenwashing. There's nothing sustainable about dairy farming, never mind the intense cruelty associated with it. This feels like a step backwards, not forwards, one commenter pointed out. Response to, there's multitudinous comments, basically saying the same thing, that people are disappointed
and
yeah, and
upset that a brand that they've trusted up to this point is essentially eschewing their ethics in order to promote their fiscal well-being.
Yeah, I mean, this all started when they were bought out by another company, Human Co.
Human Co.
Yes. And Human Co. paid to have some research done on the numbers surrounding consumers
buying habits,
buying ice cream, and they came up with I don't know how, it doesn't tell me what the research is or anything, but they're saying 97% of all ice cream bought is dairy based ice cream. So,
and I have no problem believing that.
Yeah. So don't tell us that you're doing this for any kind of sustainably or humane reasons. You're doing this for the bottom line.
Absolutely.
You're doing this to try and make more money.
To increase your customer base.
And I have no problem with a company flat out coming out and saying, look, we decided that if we started selling dairy ice cream, we would make more money. And I would say, great, I'm not buying your product anymore.
Right.
But then to go, to take it a step further after people are accusing them of kind of jumping ship, to take it a step further and start to call your product sustainable and all this other stuff. I mean, now you've really lost me.
Yeah.
Now I absolutely
really unconscionable.
will propose and recommend to everybody to boycott your product because you're basically lying to people.
Absolutely. And the thing is, the vast majority of people who do buy dairy ice cream, they're not buying expensive pints. They're not buying Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's and Godiva and, the super expensive pints. That,
not on a regular basis anyway, right?
Right, exactly. No, they're buying larger brands, Hershey's, Breyers, etc.
Right.
in half-gallon containers. And because the small stuff is prohibitive in terms of price. And so I really don't think that this is going to benefit Coconut Bliss's bottom line all that much anyway.
I hope not. I hope it comes back to bite them so hard.
I mean,
they're losing their main consumer base.
Right, they are.
Which is vegans.
Yes.
I think most vegans will say, there's plenty of other non-dairy ice cream out there.
That's right.
I don't need to buy yours.
That's right. Well, and the thing is, I think one of the things that was so attractive to vegans about this brand was that they were 100% plant-based.
Yeah, and they started that way.
Yeah. And so that's important. There are plenty of other brands of plant-based ice cream that we can buy. Ben & Jerry's has 20 flavors of plant-based ice cream. Full Circle Organic does some nice plant-based ice creams.
Yeah.
I have not seen much from Haagen-Dazs, and so I don't know where they are.
Even
the
store brands are now
coming out with some good dairy-free ice cream. But having the choice to support a business that is 100% vegan, that is so great. And so, yes, whenever we had the opportunity, we would go right ahead and buy Luna and Larry's or Coconut Bliss or whatever it was called at the time.
Yeah.
And now it doesn't make sense to do that.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Yeah. One commenter on Facebook said, incredibly disappointing to see one of my favorite companies taking such a huge step backwards, trying to dupe people into believing that there's anything ethical about dairy. Another commenter said. And then they actually reached out, Veg News reached out to Cosmic Bliss for a response. And here's what their response was. Get this. Cosmic Bliss is an inclusive brand that welcomes all consumers and dietary preferences. The brand said in a statement to Veg News, "We are proud to expand our product offerings to impact many more customers who are looking to live better in our sustainable-driven mission. At our core, our brand has always been about progressing sustainable life practices, and our values remain. Most consumers want to do better and enjoy desserts that are made in a more sustainable way." If that doesn't sound like a load of horse dookie, I don't know. Oh my God, that is such a load of crap. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of doublespeak. If you ask me.
Yeah. First of all, if they had any idea who their consumer base was, most people are not eating non-dairy ice cream because it's a dietary choice.
That's right. And that's the first place that they go wrong, is in addressing veganism, not as an ethical stance, but as a dietary choice. And, I'm, of course, all for a company like Coconut Bliss being inclusive of all dietary choices. But the thing is, an omnivore can just as easily choose to eat a coconut milk-based ice cream as a vegan can.
Sure. But if what they're trying to do is dupe non-vegans into buying this product, thinking that they're doing something better for the environment and for their health, which is complete bunk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we went from disappointment to outrage.
And that's how we got from disappointment to outrage.
That's how we got from disappointment to outrage. Yeah. So, we will definitely be putting information out there as we have it. And we certainly encourage any of our listeners to cease and desist any purchasing of Coconut Bliss, soon to be Cosmic Bliss products.
Yeah, we are totally supporting a complete boycott of their product line.
Absolutely.
At this point.
Yes.
And that's mainly because of the bunk that they're trying to feed people.
Yeah, it's not even that. I'm not happy about the fact that they're going to be producing dairy ice cream.
Right. And we probably would have just quietly stopped buying their brand.
That's right.
Right.
But now, with the crap that they're trying to pile on top of it, we can't stand behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just can't. So yes, we definitely recommend that you no longer purchase Coconut Bliss, aka Cosmic Bliss products,
or any product if you want to do some research produced by Human Co.
Yep, and we do need to do that research. We have not dug deep enough into that yet.
Yeah, we can report back on that.
Yeah, we'll update you on that next week.
Yeah, so that was our not so great news.
Yeah, Definitely disappointing. I mean, especially when you hear about so many steps forward in the vegan world.
Yeah.
You know, so many good things are happening. It's really a shame that a company like this decides to go in the opposite direction.
Agreed. And like I said, I would have a lot more respect for this company if they would just blatantly say we're doing it because we can make more money if we sell dairy ice cream.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah.
We won't buy your product and we'll quietly not buy your product anymore.
Yeah.
You know? But I don't know. Do they really think people are that stupid is what I want to say. You know, do they really think people are stupid enough to believe that line of bunk that they gave when Veg News reached out for a comment?
Well, I have a feeling they probably understand, and they certainly will know through the comments, that their vegan customer base is not that stupid.
Yeah.
As for general populace, as for, you know, the omnivores that they're hoping to bring over to their product,
right.
I don't know. I hope not, because I don't think they're that stupid.
Yeah. I know. I just wish
they're going to recognize greenwashing when they see it.
I hope so. I hope that most people can recognize greenwashing when they see it. I also wish as many laws or as many lawsuits that have come forward against vegan companies for branding and naming things with the words chicken or
that
or
ridiculous
beef
thing again.
or even meat.
Yeah.
Sometimes companies are, you know, the farming industry and the agricultural industry at large will, of course, go to politicians and say, hey, you know, this is confusing consumers. I wish that there would be some legislation saying this kind of stuff is confusing consumers.
Right.
Telling them that eating this dairy ice cream is better than any other dairy ice cream is totally misleading consumers.
Absolutely.
Into buying an $8 pint of ice cream when they could just get a half gallon of Breyers and have the same impact.
That's right.
On both their health and the earth.
Yes.
And animals.
Yes.
So,
sadly.
Yeah. So that's the legislation we need as far as food branding goes. You know, there should be something on there that says, yes, this beef is grass-fed. Here's what grass-fed means.
Right.
You know, yes, these chickens are free range. Here's what free
range
range means. They never saw the light of day. They have to have like a 2-inch access to outside or something that they never do because they're so frightened because they're stuck in this giant building, this half-acre long building filled with thousands of other chickens that can barely walk because they're bred that way.
Right.
You
yes,
know?
I fully admit that pre-veganism, I was one of the foolish people who believed that free-range chickens had space.
We both were. I mean, because that's what greenwashing is all about.
Yes, I was totally sure that as long as we were buying eggs from free-range chickens, you know, it was okay because they were happy chickens. They had space to run around and they were healthy and treated well. No, so not true.
Right, and we won't even get into what happens to the male chicks that are born in the egg industry.
No, we are not getting into that
but,
today. That is not
if you're not vegan
discussion.
and you don't know, if you're not aware of what happens in the egg industry to male chicks, you should definitely Google it because it's something you should know.
It's pretty horrific.
Yeah. So I wish we could have ended on a happier note. I'm all worked up now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Didn't we have a happier note that we could end on?
Well, we were going to talk about a new cooking show that was coming out, but you wanted to do a little more research on it.
Really? We're up to that already?
Yeah.
No kidding. Why do I feel like we left something out?
Let's go down our list, shall we?
Let's do it.
Lentil walnut taco meat recipe.
Check.
What we made for the family.
Check.
Miyoko's vegan cottage cheese.
Check.
Coconut Bliss.
Check.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe I just expected us to rant and rave a little longer about the Coconut Bliss thing. We can. We can go on.
Well, we could, but we'd really just be repeating ourselves at this point. So
well, we're at 35 minutes right now. We can. There is going to be a vegan cooking competition show on mainstream U.S. television, and we're going to talk about that in next week's episode.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of excited about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to give too many details, but because I do want to do a little bit more research, I want us to be a bit more informed than we currently are.
Yeah.
For example, we don't know when this show is going to air or on what platform it's going to air or anything like that.
Right.
But the idea that it is, in fact, a fully vegan cooking competition. So we're talking vegan chefs, vegan judges, all vegan ingredients.
Right.
And that the prize money won by the chefs goes to charity organizations of their choice.
Yeah.
That all makes me really excited.
That's kind of boding well, right?
It does bode well.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that it turns out to be as lovely as it sounds like it could be.
Yeah, we'll
I
talk.
hope it lives up to the potential.
We'll talk more about it next week. We'll do a little more research and we'll tell you all about that next week.
Absolutely.
So I'll just do some housekeeping, then we'll wrap things up because, like I said, we're at 35 minutes. So,
Bring
I don't want to yammer on just for the sake of yammering on.
Yes, you do. You all. Oh my gosh, that's new.
Okay, so email us any recipes you think we should try, any cookbooks you think we should buy. If you have a cookbook, if you've written a cookbook, drop us a line. Let us know what it is. We will gladly buy it from you. Our email is compassionandcucumbers@gmail.com.
It sure is.
Yeah. You can check out our website. It's www.compassionandcucumbers.com.
Mm-hmm.
We are always holding our fundraiser for Mockingbird Farms Animal Sanctuary at our buymeacoffee.com site, which is www.buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers.
Backsplash?
I know. You couldn't just let that go, right?
I couldn't.
I was
No.
hoping that...
No.
That's
Sorry.
right. I said backsplash.
Yes, you really did.
I'm a little dyslexic.
It's all right. You want to try that again?
Oh, I'm fine.
You're fine with it? Okay.
I'm human. People know. People misspeak sometimes. I'm not going
This
to do
is
it
very
again.
true.
What else? Do we have any other housekeeping? Do you have any housekeeping that you want to?
No, outside of the fact that, along with that whole Mockingbird Farm Sanctuary
Fundraiser?
thank you. Fundraiser.
I saw this blank look came over you.
Completely. I'm like, what's the word I'm looking for? There, I know there's a word there somewhere. Yes, with the Mockingbird Farms fundraiser, we are still looking for that first $50 donor. And the $50 donor will get a limited edition Compassion and Cucumbers t-shirt along with a copy of the audiobook of Confessions of an Animal Rights Terrorist, written by Karen Levinson, narrated by yours truly.
Yay! I will give a shout out to our niece Lucy, who very kindly tried to see how many coffees she could buy us, and she said it went up to 50. And then I told her, please don't do that. Please do not buy us 50 coffees, because I think it's $5 a pop or something like that.
Is it really?
Yeah. She just wanted to see how high up it could go.
Okay.
So shout out to Lucy for
figuring
checking that out.
Yes, and another shout out to Lucy for over this family weekend that we just had. She asked us some really interesting questions about some of our podcast episodes. And I thought that was really wonderful. And we've now decided that in one of our summer episodes, where we will be broadcasting from Orlando, Florida, Lucy is actually going to be a guest on the podcast, and she will be bringing her questions to us and to you live through the podcast.
I think that would be, I think that's a good idea.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, she's 13. Well, we'll be 13 soon in a few weeks here. And I think people would be interested to see what kind of questions a young 13-year-old omnivore who's vegan curious is going to ask us.
Yeah.
Because, hey,
Yeah.
she is the future.
She absolutely is.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So that should be fun.
Yeah. All right. I guess we'll wrap things up then. We'll see everybody. Well, we won't really see you. But if I close my eyes, I can picture you. Next week, next Tuesday, right here, same bat channel, same bat time. And I guess that's it. Say goodbye, Sam.
Bye.
Bye-bye. If you'd like to support the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/cucumbers and buy us a cup of coffee. Thanks so much for listening and for supporting us in what we're doing. We're really having a good time with it.